Hello, my name is Andy Olivo. I'm the rector here at St. Elizabeth's Episcopal Church of Ridgewood. 6 months ago, on Sunday, March 8th, we gathered together for the last time in our building for in-person worship services. I'm so proud that over these past weeks and months, we have been able to gather as a community of faith online via pre-recorded and live-streamed services. We've been able to gather for Bible study, for morning prayer, and for other formation opportunities on Zoom. We've been gathering for story time and for daily services of Compline on Facebook. I'm pleased to let you know that as we move forward, not only during this time of COVID-19, but also once we're on the other side of this pandemic, our online presence will remain an important part of our mission and ministry here at St. Elizabeth's Church. We have no plans to stop sharing the good news of Jesus Christ online, and like many other churches and houses of worship, we're actively working to upgrade our technology so that we can better share our message online. I look forward to sharing more with you about that project in the coming weeks. Earlier this summer, the Diocese of Newark released a set of guidelines for all of the 96 Episcopal parishes in this part of northern New Jersey, which allow for churches to resume in-person services and other parish activities on a limited basis and when they're ready. I'm excited to share with you that on Sunday, September 20th, we will begin to regather in this holy space for services. If you haven't yet read my letter to the congregation detailing our service schedule for the fall, I invite you to take just a few minutes to do so. It's important for us all to remember that even though we're preparing to regather for in-person services, things will not be just as they were when we last gathered in March. We're still going to hold firm to our holy and beautiful Anglican traditions as expressed in our Book of Common Prayer and our hymnal, but the way we experience those services will be somewhat different during this COVID time. Over the next few minutes, we hope to show you some of what you can expect if you choose to join us for in-person services. Remember that many of the changes you will see are only temporary, but they are necessary as we work to keep everyone who enters our church safe and well. Here is some of what you can expect.
As we regather for in-person services, we're going to be limiting the number of parishioners in the pews to 50 people, which is a number that will allow everyone in the church to be properly distanced. You'll be required to pre-register to attend the services, and we'll be using an online registration site called Sign Up Genius. Each week you'll receive a link in your inbox. Once you click it, we ask that you read all of the health and safety guidelines. If you're not comfortable with or able to follow the guidelines, or if you're experiencing any of the COVID symptoms listed on the registration form, we ask that you refrain from joining us in person and instead worship with us online. Once you've read through the guidelines, you can click the link and begin to reserve your spot for a particular Sunday. If others will be joining you, you can reserve more than one spot on a single registration form. Please don't reserve more seats than you expect to fill, as these services will be limited. If we reach 50 registrants on the Sign Up Genius page for a particular Sunday, registration for that day will close. If registration is closed, you can reach out to the parish office and we can add you to a wait list. If you sign up for a service but later realize that you won't be able to attend, let us know so that we can free up your spot for another parishioner. We ask that only those who have registered show up for services on Sundays so that we can properly seat everyone. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact the parish office. When you arrive at St. Elizabeth's, we're asking that everyone enter through the doors on the California Street side of our building. This is because we will have a check-in process for everyone attending services each week. Once you make it to the doors of the parish house, you'll be welcomed by a friendly face. They will confirm that you've registered to attend the service, take your temperature with a contactless thermometer, ask you a few COVID-related questions, and share with you any relevant information about that week's service. Once you've sanitized your hands, you can make your way down the hall to the church. There won't be a nursery or child care available during this time, but know that your children are invited and encouraged to worship at these services too. As you go down the hall, you'll notice decals on the floor. These are in place to assist you in maintaining a 6-foot distance from others who may be ahead or behind you. Please be patient and keep a safe distance from others who may be ahead of you in line. And don't forget your mask. Once in the building, masks will be required for everyone. If you don't have a mask or if you forgot it at home, we will have extras ready for any who might need them. Once you make it to the narthex, one of our faithful ushers will again greet you and welcome you to church. Since we'll need to manage seating so as to keep everyone appropriately distanced, your seat in the church will be assigned to you each week. The usher will have a list and will take you to your pew. Please only sit in your assigned pew. Hand sanitizer will be on both ends of every pew for your use during the service. Once in the church, you'll notice that every other row of pews will be roped off. Again, this is to maintain proper distancing. We've also removed all prayer books, hymnals, and Bibles from the pews. You're invited to bring your own prayer book with you each Sunday, but if you don't have one, you can let one of the ushers know and we can give you one to borrow. Please plan to take this prayer book home and bring it back with you for future services. As you get settled into your pew, don't forget to take a few moments to pause, pray, and give thanks to God. You can stand, sit, or kneel at your pew throughout the service. As the service begins, you'll notice a number of changes. There will be no acolytes at this time, nor will we have a choir. Each Sunday, our organist and choir master, Gare Landis, and one of our soloists will offer music for us. The soloist will sing all hymns and anthems from the main altar of the parish, as they are required to be at least 24 feet from the nearest person. Congregational singing is not allowed. Our soloists will be offering the sung praises to God on our behalf. The service will also be abbreviated at certain points to limit the time we're all gathered in the building. Physical sharing of the peace is not allowed except with those from your own house. When it comes time to offer the peace of Christ with your neighbors, try a wave, a nod, a simple bow, or a peace sign. During the service, you'll also notice our camera equipment set up near the front of the church. This is so that we can live stream our services for all who are not able to be present for our gatherings. Eventually, this technology will become more hidden, but for now, a volunteer will be seated near an iPad to ensure the service is being broadcast on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Please be mindful that once the service goes live each week, anything you say behind the camera may go out to those watching at home. As the clergy prepare the altar for Holy Eucharist, our ushers will not be passing offering plates. Instead, there will be offering plates stationed in the narthex as you leave the service, and you're invited and encouraged to leave your gift as you exit the building. Don't forget that you can also give safely on our parish website, www.steveridgewood.org, and then click on the Online Giving tab in the upper right portion of the web page. As always, we are grateful for your generous support of the mission and ministry of St. Elizabeth's Church. Another change you've probably noticed is that we've moved the altar from the chapel into the church and in front of the steps going into the choir. This is not a permanent move, but it is necessary, as we won't be able to use the main altar since our soloists will be singing from that distanced position. The principal way that we will worship for the foreseeable future will be in a service of Holy Eucharist. It's been 6 months since many of us have received the Eucharist, and we know there is a strong desire to share in that holy meal. That, too, will look somewhat different as we gather again. The priests of the parish will say the Eucharistic prayer from the altar on the floor and will consecrate enough bread for all present. Communion will be in one kind, the consecrated bread only. When it comes time to serve the congregation, the parish clergy will first sanitize their hands and then come to you. We will make our way down the empty rows of pews and serve you in your seat. You can either kneel or stand when we come to you. We ask that you wait to consume the bread until the priest has exited the pew. You may remove your mask briefly as you eat the host. Gluten-free hosts will still be available. Simply tell the priest of your need. As before, if you prefer not to receive communion, you can simply cross your arms over your chest and the priest will offer God's blessing to you. After all have received communion and as our closing hymn comes to an end, we ask that you remain in your pew until your row is dismissed by the ushers. The ushers will start from the back of the church and move toward the front, keeping watch of those departing so that a crowd does not form in the hallway. Please plan to exit the church the same way you entered through the doors at the California Street side of the building. As you go, you can place your offering in one of the offering plates in the narthex, and you can either take your service bulletin home with you or put it in the recycle bin. And don't forget your prayer books. If you borrowed one, remember to bring them back with you when you come again for another service. At this time, there will be no in-person fellowship opportunities after the service. We will resume our wonderful coffee hours at some point in the future. The clergy will greet you from a safe distance as you go in peace to love and serve the Lord. After all have exited the building, the church will be sanitized using a non-toxic organic disinfectant called BioBlast. This sanitization will take place after every in-person service, and will also be keeping windows open throughout the services to allow for the movement of air.
I hope this brief video has been helpful in explaining to you some of the new protocols as we begin to gather again here at St. Elizabeth's Church. Should you have any questions about anything that you've seen or heard, please don't hesitate to reach out to the parish office. Whether you gather with us in person or continue to worship with us online, I'm so glad that we are able to come together week after week to offer prayers and praises to our loving God. As I've been saying since March, I look forward to the day when we are all gathered back together again in this holy space. I truly believe that day will come and will come soon, but until that time, know that you are missed, know that we are here if you need us, know that you are in our prayers, and know that you are loved. God be with you. God is with you. I look forward to seeing you soon.